All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Let's talk about Champion Enablement and how we can ensure long-term success for your implementation through using that. I am Britt Champeau. I am the content architect for Champion Enablement. You can follow me on Twitter at NowBritt. I post all of our new content out there. I let you know about events, and I'll make sure that you're aware of what's going on. We put some great content out there for Istanbul, and we're going to be doing more of that going forward with our future releases. So a little bit about me. I've been with the company for about 3 years, but before that, I was a customer for about 6. So some of that I knew I was a customer, some of it I didn't. And a lot of that is about communication and making sure that you're aware of what's going on in your organization, and the organization is aware of what's going on in your specific team. So when I became a customer, we were implementing ServiceNow for the first time. We're all very excited, right? We have this fantastic product. We're going to build everything on it. Everything's going to be automated. It's going to be so cheap. We're going to have the most fun. And I had a fantastic team that I was working with to make sure that we were automating everything as well as we possibly could. So the project team was so excited. We are over the moon just thinking about all the things we can do for our organization. We do our first implementation, and then shockingly, not everyone else is excited. They're not realizing that we just built them the best tool ever. They're not realizing just how much money this is going to save us. All they know is they knew how to do their jobs before, and now we're using this new process, this new program that means that things are going to change for them, and that's frustrating. And this is where Champion Enablement enters. This is where we focus on being better together, not just communication between ServiceNow and you, but communication between you and your customers. And I love this picture. As a huge Star Wars fan, anything that has Han and Chewie on it is going to be really exciting for me. But more than that, I love this relationship. They're back and forth, the way that they just really understand each other, and it's based on a long-term commitment of trust. Yes, maybe there was a life debt in there, but that's neither here nor there. I just love how they really understand each other, even if not everyone else does. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to learn Shyriiwook to be able to have a conversation with your customer. It just means that there needs to be a relationship built off of understanding and knowing what it is that they need going forward for them to be successful the rest of your organization. So in Champion Enablement, we're all about customer success. We have built a free offering in the community that allows you to get access to between 80 and 100 guides and tools and training out there for go-live communication and training, for program management, and for introducing ServiceNow to the enterprise. We're going to get a little deeper into what those areas are right here. So the first step is go live communication and training. This is when you should really be cultivating your champions. And you may be asking, well, who are my champions? That's just my project team? Is it, I don't know, is it my sponsor? Champions are self-selecting. If you see someone in your organization that's excited, that really sees the value of what you are doing, they're a champion, and we should be enabling them to be champions. This is how you can drive adoption. Use them to evangelize, to share information about what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're building, and how good this is going to be for the rest of your organization. They are fundamental to being able to grow your ServiceNow program over time. So once we've had our first go live, we're really excited. Everybody knows what we've done, right? And now we're into program management, where we can get into strengthening the champions and really allowing them to roadmap and elevate the value of the program. So this is when you can start doing demand shaping, right? We just implemented HR. What's next? What can we start talking about? Your champions are going to maybe start having conversations as they're walking through the halls, or maybe they've cornered someone in an elevator where they can't escape, and they start talking to them about the value that's been driven within their specific organization. It's a great time for them to become business partners, to lead into becoming business partners in the final area for introducing ServiceNow to the enterprise. So in this space, this is basically you locking arms with the rest of your organization and saying, we're in this together, right? We aim to rebel. We're going to come in and we are going to make sure that not only are we using ServiceNow for the tasks we're using it for now, but we're going to get this interconnectivity of data that's going to allow us all to work together, to use the same data, and to really get the most out of our program. By providing, as I said before, between 80 and 100 guides and templates in these 3 separate areas. Here are just a couple examples. I'll give you a demo and show you a couple examples live of what those are, so you can see just what it is that we're talking about here. So when does champion enablement matter? That's a really common question that we get. And it's not just for your initial go live. Your cycle as a customer really just goes around and around and around. Once you've started, once you've signed that contract, you can be a champion and you can get yourself started before your implementation, before go live, by making sure that you are communicating out and driving awareness and making sure that people are aware of what's going to happen. You don't want to shock anyone with an update. Even the most productive tool update that you can do is not going to be as valuable if people weren't aware that it's coming. So now that you've gone live, everybody knows what's going on. Now it's time for you to start moving into program management. And we've got great tools available for you for program management so that you can say, how should my organization be set up? What should I be doing to make sure that I have the best possible implementation? And this will help you with your demand shaping to make sure that you're able to determine what is it that comes next. You cornered that person in the elevator, which is really exciting, but then what do? How do you move forward with that after that initial conversation? So this is the time for you to actually be introducing ServiceNow in a little bit more of a formal way, and we provide contents for that. When I was a customer, I would run into people and I would say, hey, it took this long for this task to be completed in your organization. I'm not mad, right? But let's talk about how we can improve it. I'd love to set up a meeting with you and my sales guy or my solution consultant to talk about it. And generally they would say, I like you. I know you. I'll talk to you about it, but I don't want to talk to a sales guy. And, I think we've all kind of felt that way every now and then, right? Like I don't want to spend the time with a sales guy if we're not serious about possibly making an investment, right? So when this happened to me when I was a customer, I would, I don't know about security operations. I don't know about IT operations management, and I'm supposed to sit down with this person and talk to them about how this is going to affect their bottom line. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I would, it would go either way, right? It could go really well, that they would, be charmed into thinking that this is a great idea. Or they could say, well, there's just not enough information here for me to be able to make an informed decision about what to do next, and it would end at that point. And what we do at ServiceNow is we make sure that you have the tools you need to have those conversations about HR, about security operations, about ITOM, about customer service management, IT business management, all of our lines of business, to make sure that you are prepared to have those conversations. And once you've done that, to make sure that you can get your sales guy, you can get your solution consultant in the door to continue that conversation, so you can start the cycle all over. You can start bringing in a new product. Everybody gets excited again. You get to do your go live communication and training again, go through another implementation, go through your program management process again, back through ideation, and making sure that you're now having another conversation about improving your service management within your company. So out in the community, this is available to you, and they actually just changed it. So this screenshot is wrong as of 2 days ago, but I'll show you. You can go to Champion Enablement directly from the community. I'll show you where that is. And if you have any issues accessing it, please feel free to email us at champion.enablement@servicenow.com. If you can't remember that, you can always tweet me and I'll jump right on it. Over on the right-hand side, we've got what the Champion Enablement Center actually looks like. You'll see the 3 main components that we already went through: go live communication and training, program management, and introducing ServiceNow to your enterprise. Then there's also sharing your success. And this is a space where you get to brag. Nobody hates bragging, let's be honest, right? You get to say, hey, we did a great job of driving adoption, and this is how we did it. Or we used one of your templates and we changed this thing and we think it makes it better, right? So you can use this space to make a name for yourself out in the ServiceNow community. Let other people know what it is that's going on in your organization. And we have a Champion Enablement Advisory Board that's been built that's going to kick off next week that you can join, and will allow you to share with us not only what you've done, but maybe what you think could make Champion Enablement more valuable for your organization. What can we do to make sure that you're getting the most out of your Champion Enablement experience? We've got a couple scenarios here. The first one is the go live. This isn't me or you during a go live. This is your end user. As I talked about before, you really can't over communicate what's going to be going on with your go live. You need to let people know what's going to be going on before you get moving. So we go through 4 main steps with go live communications. The first is planning. It's really important to have a great plan for your communication, so you know what it is that you need to do, when it needs to be done, who you're going to be speaking to, and you can make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. Then you get into executing those communications, sending things out, making sure that everything is on time. Get into training. What does that look like? Lunch and learns, right? Getting people in a room, getting people excited, and getting them prepared for your new implementation of your program. And then go live week and beyond is really exciting. We talk a lot about the party and how important that is. It really can't be oversold how fantastic it is to be remembered as the team who gives people cake, or as the team who has parties every time they go live with something. You give someone in a department that has nothing to do with their organization, you give them, a little bit of cake and let them play a few games at work, and now you're the fun team. And when you run into that person and corner them in an elevator, they won't be as negative about it. Oh, you're the person that had that party. You're the people that have fun. I want to talk to you, right? So make sure that you're inviting everyone. It's not just for your project team, it's for your whole company. Have a huge party, everyone's invited. Because nobody hates a party. And the other thing is, when people are happy, it's easier for them to learn. When dopamine is released in the system, it allows someone to actually retain information better. So don't go in, be monotone, and talk to them about ServiceNow and, oh, it's going to be great. You want to be excited. You want it to be fun. You want it to be an experience that they're going to remember, because if they remember the experience, they'll be able to retain the information that you were sharing as well. So the next scenario is turning chaos to order, and this is about program management. Now, when I was a customer, we did our best to have a great program and to have a good structure in our organization, but you're always asking the question, is this right? Is this the way I should be doing this? And there's not a lot of information out there about how these things should be done, how you should be setting up your organization, what your implementation should look like. And so those are some things that we share in Champion Enablement to help you either move into another strategy for your program, or for you to be able to validate that what you're doing is right. So with program management in Champion Enablement, this is a way for you to get the information that you need in a way that makes you feel comfortable when you're speaking to people, regardless of whether it's your technology, how should that look? How should that be set up? Your strategy, how you're shaping your demands, your portfolio, what are we going to do? Are we making sure that our demands that we're working on are in line with our corporate strategy? And then convergence. How does this fit into the larger ecosystem, right? There's so many people that talk, and it's really inspiring to hear that you can do anything that you want on ServiceNow. I know I was excited to see that I could build anything I wanted. I could build a custom app that nobody had ever even thought of before, or I could use something that was already there and make it fit my organization using the processes we already had, right? And that's what people will tell you about ServiceNow. We can do anything. We can be anything. But sometimes you just need a little bit of validation to make sure you're going in the right direction. So as you're running your ServiceNow implementation as a program, it's really important for you to set up the fact that this is not just a tool. If you come into this thinking that ServiceNow is just a ticketing system or is just a tool, it's going to be very difficult for you to expand across your organization, because they'll say, No, I don't need a ticketing system in marketing. Thank you. That's not what we do, right? If you can set up the conversation around the fact that this is really a program that can be organization-wide, that allows people to not have to swivel their chair from system to system to system to do their job. If they could do it all in one place, how much easier would that make their life, right? If you can sell that idea, you are on track to actually running ServiceNow as a program. So the third and final scenario is missing the boat. And this guy is so upset, but what he doesn't know is that's the Titanic. So he shouldn't be, you'll be fine, sir. With missing the boat, this is really about, you want someone to have that FOMO, right? That fear of missing out about ServiceNow. You want somebody to see, oh, HR is going live on ServiceNow. Oh, that's awesome. It used to take 2 months to onboard a new person, and we just got them on board in 2 hours. What is that? I want that in my area. I want that in marketing. I want that in security operations. Why are you guys leaving me behind? If you can do those kinds of implementations that other people look at and they see something that they want, generally it's going to be efficiency or automation, and they feel left out, they'll come to you and make sure that you're hearing them out. They want to be in your demand shaping conversations. So with introducing ServiceNow to the enterprise, this is that point where you'd have the meeting with someone in human resources or the conversation with someone in marketing or security operations, and you want to make sure you're prepared for that conversation. So out here, we're making sure that you are driving awareness of your success, what you've done to make sure that things go well in your department and for the rest of the organization, so you can celebrate those wins. It's also a place for you to be a business partner with the rest of your organization. As I said before, locking arms and walking together, right? And then it's really preparing others for an implementation. So you've sat down, you've gotten the person to sign off, they think this is a great idea. You need to go into the room and make sure that everybody knows what it is that needs to be done for this to be successful. Because you, after all, are the expert. You're the person who knows everything about ServiceNow. You're the person who's already realized your success with ServiceNow, and you need to be able to share that with them. So we provide materials to help with that conversation. So with driving awareness, it's important for you to have consistent communications. This could be with themes, themed content that you're sending out that all has the same, kind of kitschy look to it. There was a point when I worked for a customer, and we were very structured in our communications normally. And as I was sending out communications about an implementation, no one was really paying attention to them. And, I'd come talk to people knowing everybody had gotten the email, and they'd say, oh, I've never heard of what it is you're talking about. And so I started getting a little creative with it. And so I sent out little emails with updates using our project team and saying things like, the force is with us, and taking the team leading the implementation and superimposing their faces over Star Wars characters, right? Like, nobody's not going to notice that. They're going to notice it, and they're going to start asking, like, what was that about? Why were you sending out those people superimposed over Star Wars characters? That's so weird. What's wrong with you? And it really kind of gets the conversation started. So don't be afraid to be cheesy. Don't be afraid to do something that maybe nobody in your organization has done before. That'll help you to get people to notice what it is you're trying to say. So make sure that you're putting posters out there, make sure you're sending out emails, but don't just rely on email. Allow yourselves to have fun with it. The more fun you're having with your implementation, with your communications, the more excited your end users are going to be. You don't want this to be, the Imperial March to death, right? You want this to be celebratory. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple things that we have available in the Champion Enablement Center. All right, so in the community, all you're going to do is you're going to go under Resources, and you're going to click on Champion Enablement. Now make sure that you're logged in, because this space is locked down to just customers, but don't fret if you don't get immediate access. If you click this button for click to access now and you can't get in, please feel free to contact us. That'll send an email straight to us so that we can get you access really quickly. So I'm just going to click this button to access now, and that's going to take me to the Champion Enablement space. I've got a few documents I want to share. So the first is under Go Live Communication and Training. Again, so important to have a good plan. So I'm going to go under step 1 for planning Go Live Communication and Training, and I'm going to open up the very first document, the Communication Plan Template. Now the Communication Plan Template has all sorts of content in it, the most important of which I feel are the actual plan steps that are available in the Communication Plan 3-month tab and the Communication Plan 6-month tab. This is something that will allow you to see what should I be doing today to make sure that there's communication available for my implementation. So you can say, I need to be having these change champion meetings. When should those be happening? I want to make sure that things are being evangelized. And here it is right here, and exactly when you should be having those meetings. So we've put this in Excel so everyone has access, everyone can use this for your planning going forward. So on top of the communication plans that tell you what you should be doing on a daily basis, we also have a RACI chart that you can use to say who's going to actually be doing these activities. We have user and stakeholder assessments. And then we also have just some information that you can fill out about what your communication plan objectives are going to be. So now I'm going to go into program management. We have a really exciting document in program management. As I was saying before, it's important for you to know whether you're doing the right thing with your program. It's something that we've created in concert with the Inspire group and with our professional services organization. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so it's not overwhelming on the screen. So in this document, we cover what your framework should look like overall. And we get into roles and responsibilities, what the governance model should be for your maturity. For your maturity level, what kinds of governance you should be looking at, technical, strategy, portfolio, and convergence, as I was stating before, and all sorts of other information in here that you can use to make sure you're on the right track. Then we get into introducing ServiceNow to your enterprise, and this is one of my favorite pieces because it's what I would just have killed to have when I was a customer myself. So I'm going to go ahead and show the one for ITOM. So in this intro kit, this should give you most of what you need to have a conversation with someone about ITOM. And I'm actually going to just minimize both of these. One moment. One more moment. Let me go ahead and open it again. There we go. All right. So in the ITOM intro kit, you can see that we have all sorts of slides available here, including first an elevator pitch, literally for when you've got that person locked up in the elevator, so you can talk to them really easily about wanting to have a conversation with them about how you could help with their organization. Then we get into objection handling, and this is actually content that we have available to our solution consultants that help them when there are objections, and it will help you in your conversation as well. If they have something that they'd like to know and maybe you're not aware, a lot of the objections are actually covered in this slide. Then down here we get into the actual slide for you to present. Now the way that we've set this up is that we want to make sure that first it's understood that you were experiencing challenges yourself. You were not a perfect organization, for always, right? You've struggled before. And what are some of the things that you were able to handle? And how does that relate to things that they may be experiencing and that you could handle with them? So it really helps you with kind of doing this work together, being able to, again, partner with them. Relationship goals with your customers, very important. Then we get into the actual ITOM product, so they can see, what would this actually look like? What does a solution look like for us? We show them the actual product. We show them how mobile ready it is. And then we get into, what are some examples of success that we've already seen? Who are some companies who've invested in this, who have already implemented, and what did they do to achieve their success? So we go through those case studies, and then we just do a quick overview and then a demo. This is just an example. We are actually creating intro kits right now that are going to be aligning with our customer conversations. And if you're not familiar with the customer conversations, I really suggest that you go out to ServiceNow.com and go under solutions and see what some of those are. For people that are outside the ServiceNow sphere of influence, talking to them about a specific product may not make a lot of sense. If you go up to someone and say, oh, have you seen the field services management application? They may not know what that means. So instead, these conversations are available for you, so that if someone asks you something and says, you know, I'd really like to be able to solve my security issues faster, that you can point them to content. So we're creating intro kits related to those right now, and they should be posted here in the next couple of days. So that's just a very quick overview of Champion Enablement. We'll be doing more Ask the Expert sessions that get deeper into specific topics going forward. But that's what I've got for you today. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Make it a good day, and make sure that you have those relationship goals.